Occupancy rate of Hong Kong's flats suggests imported talent and their families did not move to the city. Counterfeit goods are seized in cross-border joint customs operation. Donald Trump imposes 100% tariff on computer chips. Hello and welcome to TVB News. I'm Melissa Hekalea. The government's talent schemes have attracted over 200,000 people and their families to Hong Kong so far. Former Chief Executive Lun Chunying noted many talents and their families did not move to Hong Kong. Mimo Singhai reports.
Since 2022, the government has launched a series of schemes to attract talent to the city. As of June this year, the government has received 500,000 applications for such schemes. Authorities approved 330,000 submissions and 220 applicants have arrived in Hong Kong with their families. Those numbers have already surpassed the government's initial target of 105,000 in 3 years. On social media, Lun Chunying, vice chairman of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, says the occupancy rate of private residential flats has not changed much in the past 5 years. Lun says that shows most talent and their families did not move to Hong Kong after getting the green light, but they came to obtain HKID cards before returning to the mainland. In his post, Lun asked a few questions, including when will these talents come to Hong Kong and what is their demand for social services. Lun said the government must consider the issues objectively and there cannot be too much uncertainty. Lun did not comment on the issue when attending an event today. Lawmaker Lo Wai Kwok, who has been interested in population policy, said the government doesn't have support measures to attract talent to stay in the city. He hopes authorities will work on the relevant issues. Mimus 9, TVB News.
Hong Kong Customs have teamed up with mainland and Macau authorities to combat the sale of counterfeit goods. Some 67,000 pieces of pirated goods were seized in the operation, with a total estimated market value of $44 million. 5 people were arrested. The counterfeit goods found included fake handbags and sportswear. The Customs and Excise Department said they and their mainland and Macau counterparts conducted operations at a number of border crossings and delivery companies last month. They also found a 40-foot cargo full of counterfeit goods at Tuen Mun's River Trade Terminal. Officers also cracked 5 cases of transshipment of counterfeits at the Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge and Shenzhen Bay Port area. The Trade Development Council has released a survey exploring how Hong Kong businesses can expand into the mainland's e-commerce retail market. It notes mainland consumers place significant importance on the authenticity of Hong Kong products and their brand reputation. Conducted in 2024, the survey polled 2,200 mainland consumers. 78% had purchased Hong Kong products online over the past year. These shoppers expressed strong trust in Hong Kong brands, giving them an overall rating of 8.7 out of 10. Electronics and luxury goods emerged as the top product categories purchased. When choosing Hong Kong items online, consumers prioritized product authenticity and brand reputation above other factors. The HKTDC believes these insights will help local, small, and medium-sized enterprises leverage mainland e-commerce platforms to expand beyond Hong Kong. The police force has released its latest mobile app, which provides a one-stop service for residents seeking to report crimes, apply for licenses, or make other inquiries. This as authorities hope to alleviate the force's manpower shortage problem by including an AI chatbot on the digital platform, which residents can use to ask simple questions pertaining to police work. Timothy Lee tells us more.
The Hong Kong police's latest move to keep up with the trend of digitalization saw the development of a super app combining the force's more than 50 digital services spread across various apps into a single platform. Residents can now report crimes, traffic incidents, and other non-emergency cases via the all-in-one app. Available services are further distinguished by the color of their icons, with licensing-related services represented in green and certification in yellow. Those who wish to use the app must either register an account or log in via the IM Smart system.
The app is a one-stop, citizen-centric, all-in-one service designed for the convenience of members of the public. Obviously, for an organization as big as the Hong Kong Police Force with 50-plus services, it means whether you report crime cases, you apply for licensings, you check a lot of online applications, various service. We provide one-stop service. It is a seamless experience.
This as the police stressed residents should still dial 999 during emergency cases, adding that the app's primary purpose is to address the police's manpower shortage problem and decrease chances for attacks against the force's digital infrastructure.
In the past, if we need to maintain and protect different services, we need different teams, we need different systems. That will be very costly, and also it may, but to a more likely extent, subject to more attacks. And that's why when we create this super app encompassing most policing services, then we only need to protect one major system instead of a number of the minor systems.
Using the police's latest mobile app, residents can now make inquiries about anti-scam and other crime prevention activities via its AI chatbot. To make the app even more convenient for the city's ethnic minorities, the police said they are working on a translation system for its AI platform. Timothy Lee, TVB News.
At least 2 people were confirmed dead in a landslide yesterday, triggered by torrential rain in Guangzhou's Baiyun district. The tragedy also injured 7 people and trapped 5 others, while search and rescue efforts are still underway. Samantha Lee tells us more.
Local authorities, including firefighters and rescuers, continue to search for the missing. Excavators were also deployed to demolish the damaged buildings as the structural steel bars were exposed, while drones were seen to be spraying what appeared to be water. This after the disaster struck on Wednesday morning, after consecutive days of heavy rain triggered the landslide in Dayuan village. 14 people were trapped in the collapsed buildings. Local government dispatched more than 900 rescue personnel, who pulled 7 people from the debris on Wednesday. All 7 were in stable condition. The government has allocated 100 million yuan to support recovery efforts. The funds will be used to restore damaged roads, water supply systems, hospitals, and other key infrastructure. The governor of Guangdong, Wang Weizhong, assessed the scene and gave instructions to the rescue workers. He demanded the best efforts to be deployed in the rescue of the trapped victims and to prevent further accidents and damage. Samantha Lee, TVB News.
U.S. President Donald Trump has slapped an additional 25% tariff on imports from India. The order, effective 21 days after the announcement, will push the total tariffs on India to 50%. Danny Cho tells us more.
Just after midnight, the U.S. officially put forward a new wave of tariffs on goods from over 60 countries in the European Union, with rates ranging from 10% up. U.S. President Donald Trump signed an executive order on Wednesday to place a punitive secondary tariff of 25% on Indian goods that stacked on top of the 25% levies announced at the end of July. The new rate, due to kick in on August the 27th, will bring the combined U.S. tariffs on the South Asian country to the same level as Brazil, another BRICS member. Washington is justifying the hike by saying India's continued purchases of Russian oil and gas is helping Russia's war efforts in Ukraine. Trump warned that more punishment is coming for third-party nations buying Russian energy products.
You're going to see a lot more. You're going to see so much secondary sanctions.
While officials in Washington and Beijing are working to extend their trade truce, which is set to expire in mid-August, the Republican president signaled that China could potentially be hit by his sanctions.
Could happen. Could happen. Depends on how we do. It may happen. I mean, I don't know. I can't tell you yet, but we did it with India. We're doing it probably with a couple of others. One of them could be China.
The Indian government reacted strongly to the additional tariffs, calling them unfair, unjustified, and unreasonable. The country's foreign ministry spokesman has pledged to take all actions necessary to protect national interests. In a public address on Thursday, seen as a message to Washington, Prime Minister Narendra Modi vowed India will never compromise on the interests of its farmers, livestock owners, and fishermen. According to the estimates by some local think tanks, the taxes may impact 40 to 50% of Indian goods exported to the US. Sources say Modi will soon undertake an official visit to China for the first time in 7 years to attend the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit in Tianjin, a possible indication for more interactions with China and Russia. Meanwhile, with the harsh US tariffs in play, the Brazilian president said he would reach out to BRICS member states to initiate a joint response. He told Reuters there's no reciprocal tariffs from Brazil and rejected any move to humiliate himself by seeking direct talks with Trump. Danny Zhou, TVB News.
U.S. President Donald Trump said on Wednesday he would put a 100% tariff on chips, but offered exemptions to companies like Apple that are building or are committed to building facilities in America. Apple CEO Tim Cook said his company plans to boost domestic investment by another $100 billion and announced the launch of its American manufacturing program.
This is a significant step toward the ultimate goal of ensuring that iPhones sold in the United States of America also are made in America. So 100% tariff on all chips and semiconductors coming into the United States. But if you've made a commitment to build, or if you're in the process of building, as many are, there is no tariff.
Analysts have pointed to the risk of surging costs of electronic products, cars, and home appliances. Taiwan's TSMC, the biggest semiconductor manufacturer in the world, recently announced a significant investment plan in the U.S., including building plants in Arizona. One of its major customers, NVIDIA, is likely to be exempted from the new chip tariffs. The South Korean trade envoy said Samsung and SK Hynix will avoid 100% duties. Still ahead, Donald Trump says summit involving the U.S., Russia, and Ukraine could happen soon. And Hong Kong humanitarian aid organization helps Vanuatu fight dengue fever. Welcome back. U.S. President Donald Trump could meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin as soon as next week as he seeks to broker an end to the Russia-Ukraine war. The White House said Trump was also open to a meeting with both Putin and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. This as Russian forces hit a recreational center in Ukraine's southern region of Zaporizhia overnight, killing 2 people and injuring 12. Tracy Furness has more.
Taking questions from reporters in the Oval Office, U.S. President Donald Trump would not forecast a timeline for a potential meeting with the Russian and Ukrainian presidents.
Yes, Mr. President, have Putin and Zelensky agreed to a summit yet? And where and when would that be?
Well, there's a very good prospect that they will. And we haven't determined where, but we had some very good talks with President Putin today. There's a good chance that there will be a meeting very soon.
This as the Ukrainian President Zelensky said that he had spoken to President Trump after U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff had met with President Putin in Moscow. He said the European leaders had also participated in the conversation in which they discussed the developments of the meeting between Witkoff and Putin. Zelensky said Russia is now more inclined to agree to a ceasefire. Meanwhile, Zelensky met with military officers on the 1-year anniversary of Ukraine's incursion into Russia's Kursk region. He paid a visit to a command post of the regiment that played a vital role in the operation. And 2 people were killed and 12 injured, including 2 children, after Russia struck a recreational center in Ukraine's Zaporizhzhia region. Dead bodies could be seen lying on the ground outside some of the buildings, as well as several burnt-out cars. Russian forces launched at least 4 strikes on the area, initially attacking with aerial glide bombs. Trump's deadline for Russia ends Friday, and Washington has threatened severe tariffs and other economic penalties if the killings don't stop. Tracy Furness, TVB News.
Hong Kong reported 3 new imported chikungunya cases, including a father and son living in Qingyi. Summer Xiao has more.
2 of the confirmed cases are father and son living in Greenfield Garden in Qingyi. Workers arrived to conduct mosquito control in the morning. Another team in full protective gear was deployed to Liu Tao Village and Chonghan Estate for mosquito abatement. A contractor said his team was initially assigned to Kwang Trong, but went to Taiwan Ha Village after the new cases emerged. The 2 patients had traveled in Bangladesh for nearly a month, and both developed symptoms in mid-July. They returned to Hong Kong last Sunday. The boy was taken to Hong Kong Adventist Hospital, while the father visited a Qingyi clinic on Monday. Both tested positive. Local residents said the housing estate has regular mosquito control measures in place and are not particularly concerned. The government's index showed that the Aedes albopictus, the mosquito species capable of transmitting chikungunya fever, was fairly widespread in the district last month.
More important is once we confirm there is an imported cases, we have to do all these kind of notifications to Center for Health Protections, doing the surveillance, doing the contact tracing, enhance the anti-mosquito campaign so as to minimize the spreading of the chikungunya disease or the infection, the virus from human back to mosquitoes in Hong Kong locally.
Another newly imported case involves a 79-year-old woman living in Ablay Chau who visited Fo Shan alone for a month. She tested positive after returning to Hong Kong. Workers were sent to the estate in the morning for mosquito control. Experts advise that residents should avoid non-essential travel to Guangdong, especially pregnant women and children. Summer Xiao, TVB News.
Natural disasters are known to increase the risk of mosquito-transmitted diseases such as dengue fever. A humanitarian aid organization from Hong Kong has donated prevention and control supplies to Vanuatu, hoping to strengthen local public health prevention efforts. Janny Zhang reports.
At Villa Central Hospital in Vanuatu's capital city, it's not hard to find mosquito lamps in storage rooms and corridors, all donated by a Hong Kong humanitarian organization. There are also posters promoting the prevention of mosquito-transmitted diseases such as dengue fever at the hospital's entrance. The foundation said natural disasters contribute to the spread of mosquito-transmitted disease.
3, 2, 1.
Since February this year, it has signed a memorandum of cooperation with the Vanuatu Ministry of Health, donating 1,000 mosquito lamps, 40,000 rolls of mosquito traps, and 10,000 rapid testing kits for dengue fever. Among these supplies, those allocated to Port Vila were distributed by the end of July and were being delivered to various medical institutions. It's said that once dengue cases emerge in nearby countries such as Fiji, local cases would soon follow. The rapid testing kits can reduce diagnosis time from 2 hours to just about 20 minutes.
When there is always an outbreak or we have cases or anything, we can take the testing kits and then we'll give to the communities for them to use. You just wait and then it just gives you the results. The waiting time is much shorter than you sending it to the laboratory.
A director of the foundation, Ko Wing Man, who inspected the local hospitals, said beyond donating supplies, strengthening health awareness is even more critical for preventing mosquito-transmitted diseases. He noticed few people wore masks in the wards and also suggested the foundation should consider collaborating with national medical teams to further improve medical standards. Jenny Jiang, TVB News.
That's the news. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.